So recently, Sweeney put on, one can argue, an absolute masterclass in how to deal with these types. Something that I would recommend people kind of take note of, definitely if you're entering into the public sphere. It seems that you're getting pigeonholed to speak about things that maybe you don't want to, take positions that you don't want to defend, that aren't even yours. And the reality is, you don't necessarily have to do that. They will attempt to bait you into doing so, but it's not something that's absolute necessary. This is what a lot of modern superstars, whether it be in the any entertainment field that you can think of, especially in Hollywood, well, they took the opposite route, feeling they had to speak on every single issue, no matter how well they understood it. And what you have is a lot of folks being outed. And maybe from your perspective, this is a good thing. These people told you exactly who they actually are. Understand that. Either way, social media kind of killed the superstar, and the people that interview these people haven't done them any sort of favors. But it was an interview that she did with GQ. We covered it actually on Ripping the Silverback, which you should be watching every Wednesday. Some of it in text. And this interviewer, you could tell that they were getting frustrated with Sydney as this went on, because they were more or less talking around the actual ad, the Sydney Sweeney has great genes ad. And starts gets direct. And there's one response here, and again, it's an example of how this is an absolute masterclass. Look at Sydney's face here. But check this out. Listen in.
Of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
The criticism of the
It
content.
was that simple. And if you look at some of the rest of the video, there are multiple examples of this. She explicitly states, like, well, I knew what the intent of it was. How you took that, or how other people interpreted that, is up to you. That's on you. There's no issues there, but she's not going to put herself in this position to where she has to defend a position that she doesn't have, a stance that she never took, simply because someone is trying to bait her into saying something. And really what's going on is that folks are upset and frustrated with the fact that Sydney Sweeney, no matter what types of movies that she's in, no matter how well they do, she comes off as likable. Not getting involved in all that is a great opportunity to sort of expand her not necessarily her reach. I think that's big enough, but likability. Okay, yeah, Sydney can have her political positions and whatnot, but clearly, at least as of right now, keeping that rather separate from what she does as far as her profession is concerned. And no matter how, in the cultural sense, people try to use that ad there, and how people, just because of the political climate or whatever, wanted to take that as a big racial statement, she's like, I don't care. If I had something to say about whatever y'all are feeling, or had something to say that she, was a position that she needed to feel like she would take publicly, then she'd do it. And clearly now it's not that. So it's a master class. Take a look. Just if you are watching this, again, you want to enter into any entertainment space, it is a great example of how to handle that if you don't want to get in the weeds of that. Sure, not everybody's like me, and I kind of float around that space, especially with what I do. But, and by that space, I'm talking about speaking on things like politically or whatever. But not everybody wants to do that, and not everybody has to do that. And even me, we keep that separate from the company that I have. And you get to do that. No matter what people try to, they either try to use you as a sort of vehicle, or want to use your platform, or think because you have the platform, you have to have these positions. No, you don't. You don't have to do that. And that's really what's going down right now, is that folks are realizing that. She's realizing that. And we'll see what what happens as far as her brand, but she's been playing her cards right, man. Much respect.